Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. This is it. This is the season where James Harden can cement himself and his legacy as one of the best players to ever play in the NBA by finally winning a championship. James Harden fans, this is the moment that you've been waiting for. He's on one of the greatest offensive teams ever. He's playing with two of the best and most offensive talented players we've ever seen in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. And James Harden is the catalyst of this Brooklyn Nets team. He's him, the beard, whatever name you like, he's that. In the regular season though.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
And there's a reason when the conversation of top 3 shooting guards of all time is brought up, Harden at times isn't included, despite the fact that he is arguably one of the top 3 greatest offensive scorers this game has ever seen. You got MJ, 6 rings, best shooting guard of all time. And I'm not going to explain what should already be understood about MJ. Then you look at Kobe, 5 rings, the Mamba, second greatest shooting guard of all time. And I'm not going to explain what should already be understood about the late great Kobe Bryant. And then number 3, Dwayne Wade, 3 rings. All 3 guys that I mentioned have gone to hold that Larry O'Brien trophy, while James Harden has not. And he's had his moments. But I'm not bashing Harden. It's not easy to win a championship in this league right now. I'm highlighting that in this season on the Brooklyn Nets, currently the live Vegas favorite to win the NBA 2021 NBA championship, this is the moment where James Harden can put the haters to rest and achieve the goal he hasn't been able to see since 2012. Drop a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe. But let's get into James Harden's most important playoff run this season. I'm from Houston, so I got to see James Harden play 8 seasons in a Rockets jersey. And for the most part, not even for the most part, James Harden was phenomenal on the court, period. At times I hated the style of play, but at the end of the day, James Harden would get buckets. And I mean buckets.
Or he could drive on it.
I thought it was going to be...
You are a failure. You can never make it.
Harden. Oh, he stared at Wesley Johnson, and then he hits it.
Harden came to Houston and never averaged under 25 points per game in his entire tenure here, was an all-star every year, made the playoffs every year, and added an MVP award to his collection back in 2018. But with the great regular season moments, playoff success did not happen. Now you can go back and look at the 2012 NBA Finals and see how James Harden underperformed, but we're not going to look at a guy who wasn't a franchise player at that time. I'm going to look at some of the series in Houston. I think we can all agree that in 2014, that was Harden's worst playoff performance. He was severely inefficient, and that series ended with this.
Lillard, he got the shot off. Lillard, good! And the Blazers win the series.
2015 was a better year. You meet Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, you lose in 5. You had a few good games, a few bad performances, but you were on your way to becoming a top 5 player in the league. And not to mention, Dwight was slightly diminishing in athleticism, his team was really old, and the Rockets played that entire postseason without their best on-ball defender in Patrick Beverley.
Pat Bev trick y'all, man, like he play defense. He don't guard nobody, man, just running around.
Not right now, Russ. Not right now. Looking at 2017, you're down 3-2 in the semifinals against the Spurs, and you're at home. And you have a 12-point performance at home. That's just not going to cut it. Let's be honest with ourselves. 2018, you add CP3, Harden wins the MVP, you win 65 games, you're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and you're up 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals against the defending champ Golden State Warriors. But the story of that season is CP3 going down with his hamstring injury and having 2 opportunities to close the series in Game 6, which he didn't do. In Game 7, we already know what happened. 27 missed threes by the entire team. But I won't fault all of that on Harden. 2019 and 2020 are the same story. Great regular season and a second round exit. But then again, don't give me that bullshit that Harden didn't have reliable teammates. From 2016 on, the franchise gave him the keys, and he got the players he wanted to play with. He got the coach he wanted to play for, and got to play in the system he wanted to play in. So the narrative of Harden not performing to his standards in the playoffs holds some weight, regardless if you like it or not. Now in this season, where the entire world is watching James Harden showcase his plethora of offensive capabilities, he has everything he needs to get the job done. You have the shooting, you have the all-world talent, and the stage is set for Harden to win his first championship. Harden was an MVP favorite this year before he suffered a hamstring injury that kept him out for most of April and part of May. You are the guy that when you don't play, the Brooklyn Nets look mortal. You are the catalyst of every team you've been on, from the days back in Houston and even OKC. You've always been the focal point and X factor for your team's success. Now is the time. There are no more excuses. Fans can come up with anything to make it seem like it wasn't their star player's fault, but it comes to a time, buckle up your pants and get the job done. 2012 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 6. What did LeBron James do? All I have to do is put the picture of his face on the screen and you know exactly what happened. It's that simple. Dirk, Kobe, MJ, Wade, all have conquered what James Harden has failed to do. And despite the Brooklyn Nets already having champions in KD and Kyrie, Harden has to embody those great shooting guards to make sure he's celebrating at the end of the year. Do I think he can do it? Come on now. I'm not crazy. I may not be the biggest Brooklyn Net fan, but let's be serious. James Harden can do whatever he wants on the court, and the defense would have to respect him. And for a guy who many thought couldn't lead the Rockets when he came to this team in 2012, James has shown those critics are idiots. But it all comes down to playing your best ball now, during the months of May and June, and I guess July now because of COVID, but I don't know what the NBA's going to do with that. Because of Harden, the main playmaker and floor general for the Nets, for whatever reason, isn't able to play to the level he's supposed to, the Nets can see the championship hopes dwindle away. But this is the moment we've been waiting for. And the time is coming for James Harden to cement himself as a top 3 shooting guard of all time. And maybe, one day, the best shooting guard of all time. Cap. If you enjoyed the video, like the video and comment what you think about James Harden. Where does the beard rank in your list of all-time shooting guards? I want to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps the channel's growth, and we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and we need you to accomplish that goal. Turn that post notification bell so you never miss a video. And until next time, stay on beat.